Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on my family's 2001 Camry, and we're going to be replacing the coils and the plugs. So let's get right into it.
Okay guys, first step is going to be pop the hood on your Camry. This is for the V6, by the way. So, as you guys can see, these are the coils in the front. This V6 has 3 coils. It's what's it called, waste spark system?
Yeah, it's a waste spark system, meaning on the power stroke and exhaust stroke, there's a spark being sent to the cylinder.
So it kind of like
splits
there's a
it.
wasted spark when that one's not firing. Like there's no fuel in the cylinder. That's how you can use, what the heck? But as you guys can see, we're going to need to get to the back of the engine to get to the rear spark plug. So we have to remove this whole intake, and that's really the meat of the operation here. And the rest, the access in the front is pretty easy. So first step, we're going to go ahead and start taking apart this intake. What are we going to need to do, Cameron?
So we'll go ahead and take the top half of this box off, take off all the little connectors. This throttle body, you can kind of leave it just hooked up, and we're going to basically take this whole section off right here. And then this, when it comes off, we'll just kind of lay it over.
And we'll try to take the plenum off.
Yeah, and then we have to take this metal intake off, which I've heard is not fun.
So we'll get it right into it. Okay guys, Cameron just yanked off this vacuum line with some pliers, and then he loosened up some of these like hose clamp kind of bolt clamps, and you just unclip that top of the airbox. So he needs to loosen that one up, or he already did. You guys can see the plenum, or the intake, there you go. So that's the first step, is take that out. Now it comes out in one big piece. You don't have to mess with really any bolts, actually. You just loosen them.
There's just one bolt for the clamp, and then there's a clamp right here.
Yeah.
So next is going to be this intake manifold.
The throttle body, yeah.
Yeah, throttle body. Basically, I think it's 2 bolts and then 2 nuts on the bottom. And then when you take that off, I'm going to clean this, probably wipe it down a little bit because it's a good idea. But I'm just going to kind of let it sit over here. Just because it's a lot of connectors, and a lot of wires.
The throttle, and there's vacuum lines, so trying to reduce the amount of shit we have to take off.
Yeah.
Okay guys, Cameron got the throttle body off with those 2 bolts, and then you guys can see the long studs, so there's those 2 nuts. What size was that, a 12 or a 10?
Those are 12s.
So these are 12s, all 4 of them. And right now, he also just took off the plastic cover that's with an Allen. And then, what are you doing right now, Cameron?
So there's a couple of Allens. So for the actual intake.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're gonna have to take the fuel rail.
No, it sits up higher than you think. The separation is just right here. So
okay.
There's some Allens if you look right here.
You guys can see that one down there.
No, you're not gonna be taking that one off. No, you take. So
Where?
there's a bolt here, a nut.
Okay, I see it.
And then in the middle, you have these Allens.
Move your hand. It's too dark. But yeah, basically, under the fuel rail, there's going to be Allens.
And then those are on the front and back.
So you need to take those off. Are those Star, or are they? No.
They're Allen.
Okay.
I'm searching for the Allen right now. See if I have one.
So we'll get when he takes those off. Okay, Cameron's using a extension and then an Allen tip, and then he just used his little surge or whatever, shockwave or something, Milwaukee, to break that loose or something. Did it work, Cameron?
No.
Oh, it didn't work. Okay, so these are really tight. There you go. You guys can tell they're tight because they had that crack.
Yeah, it's a 8
millimeter Allen.
millimeter. This is the
Big
only
Allen.
8 millimeter I have that fits, because it's either an Allen
Which
or
does not
this
have
8
any
millimeter
torque.
I have just by coincidence because I have an impact driver size.
Oh.
Like an impact screwdriver.
Yeah. I've never seen you use that.
Yeah, I've used it once on my 3-wheeler.
So yeah, you're gonna need an 8 millimeter Allen.
I believe
so
there's
it's quite large. And how many are there?
4, I believe, 2 here and then 2 on the back side of this.
I would show, but it's literally impossible to show.
It's literally impossible.
With the camera.
And then there's also 2 12 nuts on the ends.
sides.
And then there's 1 bolt on the back, I think. There's just 1. Yeah, I think there's 1 bolt on the back right here on a little bracket, which I think is a 12.
Yeah.
And then there's a ground right here, and then you have to take this vacuum line off.
Mm-hmm.
And then that whole thing, and then maybe disconnect this. Right
Yeah,
here.
probably
And
gonna have to take that. What is?
I don't know, but we're gonna have to take it off. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh, I think that's a coolant thing.
You should just cover this in.
So yeah, we're gonna need to take all that off, and then you can finally get to the valve covers and take those off. And these are the coils. There's no coils in the back. We already said that, but yeah.
Oh well. Turns out it's only 4 bolts for the intake, not 6.
Oh, okay. So he has taken off this little vacuum line, and then he's also working on. I think this is a coolant thing. This looks like I don't know. What is that?
No idea.
I don't know. I think it's a coolant pipe. But
All
yeah,
I know is it's coming off.
yeah, you need to take these up. What are these, 10s?
Yeah.
10s.
It's
So
3
you need to take that off so you can take this plenum off. So there's quite a bit more to go. So we'll probably just like get to a point where we have the plenum off, and then we'll show you.
Cool to have this.
Okay, guys. Cameron finally took off the EGR valve. He said that's what that rusty pipe was.
Supposedly.
You just had to take those. That was hard on that flange
Yeah,
to get those off.
just reintroduces exhaust gases
So
to get
check you can take the plenum off now.
Yeah, you want to hold back the intake manifold.
Still gonna be kind of hard because it's still on studs, so it's not just gonna like clunk off.
Oh,
fucking Jesus Christ!
Studs are gonna make it easy to put back on those.
And if you guys have like all the gaskets or whatever while you're in here, if you're trying to do new gaskets, you can.
What the fuck is it called?
It's on that stud. It's stuck on that big one over here. There you go.
Okay.
And we have access to the rear bank. So as you guys can see, this motor is like canted.
The West Bank, I might call it.
You guys can
It's
see,
like-
so that
let's see.
front bank cylinder is actually higher.
Should be bank 1, bank 2, because this has the coil more
So you
forward.
guys can see the coils, and then you basically get your spark plug ratchet or socket down in there. So we're gonna start to. We already unbolted the coils. These are 10 millimeters.
Yeah, we're gonna do the back first, and then probably put everything back together, and then do the fronts.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, guys. Now that the engine is basically dressed down, we can access all the plugs and stuff. We're gonna talk about what we're gonna be putting in the engine. Our new.
So for
this
plugs,
got some-
these are actually the actual OEM plugs. NGK Laser Platinum Premium. Like this is the part number.
So they're in boxes of 4.
Yeah, so you need like
So
a
you
box and a half.
2 boxes, kind of, or you can buy individuals.
And then we're also using new Delphi coils.
How much were those?
I think they're like $60 for the coils, and they're like 10
$60 bucks each for a coil,
and
but
then 10 bucks a piece for the
okay.
plugs.
So $60 in plugs, and then about $180 in coils. But like I said, you only need 3 coils. So if you go to a parts store and they're like, okay, all 3, don't be alarmed. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
we're changing all 6.
The total price was, let's see,
$233.
$253. That's after tax.
So yeah, not that bad actually.
That includes this fuel treatment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna throw that in. Okay, so yeah, you only need the 3 coils, and that'll be it. So we're gonna start putting those on. Okay, guys, you're gonna need the 5/8 spark plug socket. That's what Cameron is using. And as you guys can see, you can just access it with a decent extension, like 6 extension. So we're just gonna loosen all those up. What's going on, Cameron?
Yeah, I'll just loosen them all up.
Okay.
My spark plug socket doesn't really hold on to the spark
It's not
plugs.
very good.
So
And the coils that you guys can see, this is kind of what the back end of the coil looks like. And it's pretty easy to pop out. Pretty deep down in there. It's tall heads.
overhead cam.
Yep. And then do you know how the coils are set up? Like which one, like which
I do not.
additional wire?
I'm gonna leave the wires they are like as they are because they come off of the coil.
Probably kind of like the.
It's probably like the
JZ
2J where it's like 1/6.
all of them are certain length.
Yeah.
Or, oh, actually no, probably not, because they're all the same. Okay, we'll get back to you when we basically have all the spark plugs out, and we're gonna put new coils. Okay, guys, so we have put the plenum back on.
Put the fuel rail connections back down. All the vacuum lines are back
put that
installed.
EGR thing back on.
Along with the throttle body.
So, and we did the plugs in the back. So yeah, the spark plug wires, we're not replacing them. So you still have the wires down here, and you're gonna attach them to the coils. So he's gonna torque the spark plugs to spec. And what are you doing? You're doing 16
I'm doing
foot-pounds?
16 foot-pounds, which should be about correct.
So you couldn't find the actual torque spec then?
Nope.
But this is just like a similar to most.
Yeah, it's about 15, 16, 17, something like that.
Yeah, typical. So yeah, he's gonna torque these to spec, and then we're just gonna slap the coils back in, and then hook up the spark plug wires, and you're basically done. And then the final thing is to put the intake back together, which is right there on the ground. So yeah, it's not a ton of vacuum line connections you have to do or whatever. I will say doing the valve cover gaskets on the 2J was way harder than this.
Oh yeah.
This is pretty simple. Way less of a rat's nest, even though it looks pretty ratty. You don't have to take the throttle off or anything.
The 2J took probably, I think, 6 hours or something, or maybe 8.
Like, yeah, it was a long time.
This took.
And that was with both of us actually working
we're
on
at
it. Like, the whole
3
time.
right now.
Yeah.
So.
And that was with us goofing around, kind of. So. Yeah, this is basically all you gotta do. You just gotta put the intake back on, and yeah. So if this tutorial was helpful for you guys, please subscribe. We have other tutorials on the channel, and plenty of other videos. We have a video on this car actually on the channel, so please subscribe and check out our other videos. Thank you.